Hi everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here, welcome back if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. Today's video is going to be a collective book haul, talking you through 10 books that I've bought across the past few months. I'm feeling kind of sad today, and I wouldn't film except I've been feeling sad for the past few days, and I just don't think that I'm ever going to reach a point where I'm going to be in a good enough mindset to film within this week, so I'm just going to film this video, but the energy might be slightly lower. I don't know, I'm still excited about everything I have to mention, but just don't look at my reaction and think it's me being like ungrateful or whatever. I just am not in a very happy mood, which is fine, you know, things like that happen. But I've got 10 books to share with you. I really love every single one of them. I found lots of them in charity shops. I think a couple of them were gifts. Yeah, a really good range of things as always, a really eclectic mix of books. Without further ado, let's just get on to the video. So the first book is a charity shop find, and it is Answered Prayers by Truman Capote. I've read Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote as well as one of his short stories. I own a short story collection, which is what I read that one from, Christmas festive stories. So when I saw this one in the charity shop, it's a Penguin One Classic, which is what I collect his books in. I snapped it up because it was only, you know, a couple of pounds, or maybe even £1 or something. This book is so floppy and lovely. I don't actually know what this is about. I think it's like fictionalized non-fiction. Yeah, his scandalous fictional memoirs, and I have heard that his friends were mad about this being published because he wrote about them under different names, but you could still tell like who he was writing about. So I think this is kind of like a bit of gossip, but it should be fun. If his story is anything to go by, I feel like the life he lived was quite entertaining, so I'm excited for this. P.B. Jones is the amoral bisexual protagonist of this great unfinished novel, who discovers that bed hopping rather than literary ability is the way to get published. Living by his wits and his charm, Jones makes his way through the exotic boudoirs of the glitterati, only to discover that the prayers that are answered cause more pain than those that remain ignored. I'm intrigued, obviously, because that's where I just had to pick it up. Next up, I got a copy of Thunderhead by Miranda. This one was actually gifted because it was an ARC. I got it as an e-ARC from NetGalley via Scribe UK. I'd heard about this author and I'd also heard about this book. I'd seen its cover everywhere. So when I saw it was on NetGalley, I decided to check it out. It's a black comedy set in suburbia about one woman's struggle to be free. When Winona Dalloway begins her day in the peaceful early hours before her children, that tiny tornado of little hands and feet, wake up, she doesn't know that by the end of it, everything in her world will have changed. On the outside, Winona is a seemingly unremarkable young mother, unobtrusive, quietly going about her tasks. But within is a vivid, chaotic self, teeming with voices, a mind both wild and precise, and meanwhile a storm is brewing. So I think she's about to literally go off the rails because of the experience of motherhood. And I think this is heavily inspired by, yes, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, which obviously you can kind of get from the surname of the main character. Heard great things about the author, heard great things about the author's writing, and the reviews seem to be kind of good for this book, so I'm excited to see how I find it and write up a review. I don't know when I'll pick that up, but at some point along the way I'll give that a go. By the way, when I write up NetGalley reviews, you have to put them on the platform, but I always copy them over and post them on Goodreads as well, which is quite a good way of getting like a in-depth review from me that like guarantees that I do it. And I also got another ARC. This is another NetGalley ARC. Fitzcarraldo Editions gifted me What Is Mine by José Henrique Bortoluci. This looks incredible. It sounded so good. I love Fitzcarraldo. I think they have a really good kind of curation of work, so I was really excited to see this on NetGalley and like also included in their list. I've already started this one actually, and I'm loving the storytelling, like the way it's written and everything like that. Sociologist José Henrique Bortoluci uses interviews with his father Didi to retrace the recent history of Brazil and of his family. From the mid-1960s to the mid-2010s, Didi's work as a truck driver took him away from home for long stretches, at a time as he crisscrossed the country and participated in huge infrastructure projects such as the Trans-Amazonian Highway, a scheme spearheaded by the military dictatorship at the time and undertaken thanks to brutal deforestation. An observer of history, Didi also recounts the toll his work has taken on his health, from a heart attack in middle age to the cancer that defines his retirement, the diagnosis of which opens the book. Weaving the history of a nation with that of a man, Bortoluci explores the similarities between cancer and capitalism, both problems of expansion, both embodiments of the gospel of growth at all costs, and traces the distance that class has placed between himself and his father. What Is Mine is a moving, thought-provoking and brilliantly constructed examination of the scars we carry with us as people and as countries. This is such a fascinating story because, like it says, his father was a truck driver. Obviously, like within the trucker world, you would hear these stories, but outside of that, these people just live these extraordinary lives, traveling so far and wide, but we never hear what their stories are. So I'm loving that aspect of the novel. I'm also enjoying the discussions of the history of the book so far. So far, just like a really kind of like impressive piece of work, and I'm really excited to read on. Next up, my brother very kindly picked me up a copy of The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, the first book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I own The Hobbit in the same edition. These are the HarperCollins like cloth bound special edition. So gorgeous. It's got the scene and the fireworks on the cover. Yes, they're fireworks. I don't want to hear anything else. Having got this in my hand and having looked at it for a little while, I begun to think other things. If you like appreciate the book for what it actually is, it's beautiful. I love the green and the gold, and I love particularly the spine, the like structure of it. I think it's so beautiful. Even the back, and inside it's got like the map on the end papers, and it's just a really beautifully made book. I haven't read any of the Lord of the Rings. I just recently bought them on Audible in December, I think it was, so not that recent. So I think maybe I'll listen to them as I read along, I'm not sure. But either way, I'm really excited to finally own a copy, because I think it's my kind of like due diligence as a fantasy lover to read the series. I bought myself a copy of Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. This is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. I just bought this because I was up to Air of Fire and I knew that soon I'd be jumping into this one. I'm buddy reading this series, so whenever my buddy reader wants to get around to it, and it aligns with my schedule as well, I'm sure we'll jump into this. Maybe in August, I'm thinking, but we'll see how that goes. Love this series, it's so great, and I love these beautiful American paperbacks. This is so thick and heavy. They're just lovely. I bought this from a book store, an online bookstore that ships American books to the UK. I can't remember the name of it. I'll definitely have a link down below though, because it's a really great one. It has quite cheap shipping and yeah, reasonably priced American books. Obviously this costs more than like the average UK paperback, but I'm collecting the Throne of Glass series in these US ones, so very happy to own that as well. So this First Company by Eve Babitz. This was bought with a voucher that I got for Christmas actually from my brother. I had a list of books with me that I wanted to look for in the bookstore to spend the voucher on, and it was literally hopeless. Didn't stock it, it was sold out, or it was like severely damaged. So I actually had to order this one online, which is so stupid, through the bookstore's like website. I think this is a funny kind of premise. I'm pretty sure this is the one where Eve Babitz wrote this. Oh, what is it? She wrote this book because she was in love with someone. It was an unrequited love, or she had a crush on them, I don't know what it was, but she wanted them to like pay attention to her, so she wrote this book like aimed at them basically. In the end, it doesn't matter if Babitz ever gets the guy she seduces us. But yeah, life in LA, living it up. These are short stories and like little essays. I'm in the middle of a Babitz collection at the moment and I'm really thoroughly enjoying that. I love her writing, so I'm excited to kind of explore more of it. This is definitely one of her most famous collections of work. So in May, I went to California. I went to a bachelorette and I was there for like 4 days. It was the most hectic trip in terms of like the turnaround. Yeah, I didn't even have time to like adjust to the time zone because it was just such a quick trip. Because I was going on this trip like with a purpose, I decided to pick up a book in the airport because I wasn't able to go to any of the bookstores in the US and I was devastated about it. So I got this random paperback which I saw in the airport and I thought it was really cute. But the thing that really sold me is that it has sprayed edges. These really cool, vibrant blue-green sprayed edges. But this is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This is a cozy fantasy book, kind of on the back of Legend of the Lattes, which is one of my favourite books of this year. That was a 5-star read. Yeah, another kind of sapphic cozy fantasy, but instead of a coffee shop, we are in a tea shop. A sapphic romance between one of the Queen's private guards and the most powerful mage in existence, and they just run away to open the shop. Stunning vibes. Probably very, very gentle-hearted, so I'm excited to read this book either autumn or winter, like one of the colder months, because it just sounds really beautiful. And there's also, if we open up the cover, this like art print, which is really fun as well. Just a random little purchase, basically an impulse buy just because I felt sad. I'm excited to see how this is. I'll definitely put it on the TBR in the cold months and see how I get on with it, let you know. I got Too Much and Not the Mood. This is a book I've talked about a lot on this channel because I have it on my summer TBR actually, and I've also put it on my July TBR, so I should be getting to it this month. This is an essay collection by this author who I actually was watching a little interview with, and they said that they collected these essays in an order that made sense to them. It wasn't linear at all, which I think is really interesting. A lyrical and piercingly insightful cluster of essays meet prose poetry about identity and culture. Informed by Maggie Nelson's Blowettes, Lydia Davis's short stories, and Vivian Gornick's exploration of interior life, the author mines the inner restlessness that keeps her always on the brink of creative expression. It just sounds really incredible. I've heard so many good reviews about this. I'm really intrigued about this book also because, like I keep mentioning on this channel, the author is in the middle of adapting Bonjour Tristesse to the screen. Another adaptation, obviously we had the one in the 50s. I'm so excited about this. This sounds incredible, and like I said, I should be picking it up over the next couple of weeks. Why Patti Smith Matters by Caryn Rose. This is a book they've heard about for a couple of years now. I actually used to work in a bookshop and I used to look at this book when I was in there because I love looking at the music section, like music non-fiction, but I never picked it up just because I hadn't read any Patti Smith. I still haven't read any Patti Smith, but I saw this in another bookshop for £4 and I was like, I have to get it. I did. I definitely want to read some, if not all, of Patti Smith's work before I get to this, but at some point I shall read this. I never know how valuable these sort of books are, just because I think you're far better reading the work of the author than like a book about the author and like their work, if that makes sense. But we'll see. I'll go into this with an open mind and I'm excited about it because, I don't know, I just admire Patti Smith and I think that book will helped me see more of her outside of her own writing. The final book that I have here to show you was a book that I was given. Someone I know had this, bought it from a charity shop, and then didn't know whether they should unhaul it or not, and I was like, no, give it to me because I want to give it a go. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to read it, and then if I love it, then I'm going to let her take it off my hands and she can give it a go and see whether she likes it as well. This is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tillie. This is meant to be very YA, but I kind of love YA, and also it's meant to be really sad, and I love a sad book. I'm a sad girl who loves a sad book. I mean, probably not right now, that would not be a good idea, but it could be one of those like really quick reads that makes you feel things, which I feel like can be good from time to time. Rune Christensen and Poppy Litchfield meet as children and swore to be friends forever. Met as children and swore to be friends forever. As teenagers, this grew into a love that promised to last a lifetime, but their world was shattered when Rune was sent home to his native Norway. 2 years later, Rune is back and Poppy's ready for their happy ever after to begin. But the boy who returns is not the Rune she remembers. What happened to turn her sweet, thoughtful Rune into this brooding stranger? And will the secret Poppy is carrying bring them closer together or separate them forever? Makes me feel like they're going to be separated forever. I mean, it's under 300 pages, or like around 300 pages. I feel like it would just be easy to read with not very complex writing. Apparently it just reads a bit young, that's like the main criticism with it, but I don't really mind about that. Even if it's like a 3-star, I feel like I'll be just glad to have tried it because it's such a famous book. So there we have it, 10 books, obviously these plus my little e-arcs that I have bought over the past few months or have been given. This is a big old range of things, but like I said, it's always eclectic. I definitely have range in my reading, every single genre. This is a really kind of good haul to show you like the range of things I enjoy. I feel like we've got everything here. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know that you did. Subscribe if you'd like to stick around and see more videos from me. If there's any books in this stack that you think you would like to see a reading vlog on or for, let me know because I'm very, very happy to deliver. Yeah, I'll see you very, very soon. I actually think, let me see, it's my birthday on the 16th. So yeah, I've got one more video and then it'll be my birthday. I'm vlogging my birthday week, so I will read a book and take you along there with my celebrations. I'm not sure what we're doing, but I think it should be fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world. I hope your day is brighter than my own. And until next time, bye bye.